I'll just start crying, you know. One of those three things is bound to happen because I can't do this.
No. I've stayed quiet all weekend. I've held my anger in. But eventually it's gonna blow. I'm thinking tonight.
It's fine. Guys, episode 51. Holy cow. One more till we get a year. And I know you guys are so looking forward to us live streaming. Give us ideas for what you want us to do in the live stream. Because if we don't get any ideas, you know what you're gonna watch? Us playing Fortnite. Us playing Fortnite. And you know what? That's gonna be a mess within itself because we generally get rage baited. So you're just gonna watch us rage bait for maybe 30 minutes, which would probably be the equivalent of a whole match, but guess we'll find out.
We usually do okay. I won't say we do bad, but we do have some games that, you know, everyone has at least once in their lives where you're like, what?
Yeah, hopefully we don't have that when we play.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the video because we want to go to bed. Because we've both been gone all weekend. And we both just got home. Anyways, not a stupid statistics. So, apparently the footage of Shedeur Sanders meeting with the Giants is so bad that both the Browns and Sanders' family have threatened legal action if it gets published. If it's that bad.
I wanna know. Genuinely, I wanna know, because you guys already know I think that Shedeur is gonna be a bust, so... But I just wanna see the footage, just so I can, like, feel validated in my thinking.
He was like, I just to be on the safe side, let me see it. Let me see it. I won't show anyone, I won't tell anyone, but let me see it. Please. And then the Saints quarterback, Derek Carr, has announced his retirement. I saw this weekend.
Yeah, it was crazy. I saw it and I was like, well, no. My brother told me about this at my sister's soccer game, and I was like, wait, no, you're joking. Like, this did not happen.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling through and I was like, oh my gosh, it did. And then I sent it to you and I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like, and we were thinking, well, we were talking it over, and I was like, well, now it makes sense that they picked a quarterback in the draft, but it's one of the older ones who knows if he's actually going to be good or not. And they also have Spencer Rattler and some guy I've never heard of, but they should also have Taysom Hill. So,
oh yeah,
I don't know. Rumor has it that, you know, potentially Aaron Rodgers could sign with the Saints now. I hope that doesn't happen for the Saints' sake. But I mean, it's sad for Derek Carr because, you know, he probably wasn't even gonna play this season at all with his shoulder. And then he was actually supposed to go to a consultation for his shoulder when his wife had a miscarriage. So I think that that's also playing a part in why he's retiring as well. Not to speculate or spread any misinformation, but I mean, after that happens, I would feel like you would want to be home, especially while you're dealing with injuries.
Definitely. I wouldn't want to be away when there's that emotional heartbreak. And then, rumored that Browns quarterback Joe Flacco is considered to be QB1 heading into camp, and it's his job to lose.
Yeah, so, I mean, shout out Joe Flacco. I love Joe Flacco, but he's just so old. Like, he's competing up against Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel and some other guys, and they're like, yeah, you're QB1. This 30-something-year-old against these kids that are like 22.
Yeah.
you know? It's just like, how is this guy still still playing?
He's the Fernando of football.
Facts.
He's just a rookie.
Facts. It's kinda like Big Ben, but, like, the Steelers still haven't taken any good, like, quarterbacks.
No. And then the average ticket cost for 2026 World Cup group stage is set to be an average of $305.
That makes me wanna cry. You know, I really wish that it was a little bit more affordable because, you know, if it were you and me, we'd have to travel across the country to watch the US play because they don't play on the East Coast, they only
Yeah.
play on the West Coast. Not a lot of players are from the West Coast, a lot of them are from the East Coast. So we have to pay for like travel and a bunch and hotels and whatnot. And I'm like, really? You couldn't have like given us the East Coast games? Like, be for real.
A lot of money. You know, but I feel fear it's cheaper than most concert tickets. Which, I mean, if we're talking like, I know I heard that some Taylor Swift tickets were like over $1,000. So I'm
Yeah.
like, really? And you guys are spending
Well,
it? It's not even that
those
much.
people are psychos.
For real. And then every Big Six club in the Premier League will feature in a cup final this season except for Arsenal.
Can't spell Arsenal without the L. Yeah, no, it's crazy because, you know, Big Six are Liverpool, City, United,
Yeah.
Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs.
Mhm.
And Spurs are literally in 17th, and they're in the Europa League final. Same with Manchester United. And Chelsea are in the European Conference.
Moving on. So Newcastle confirms that they are planning to change the club's badge to bring it in line with the modern era, updating the badge after 37 years with a fan consultation.
I saw the mock-ups for this, and it looks nothing like their current badge, and honestly, their current badge is fine. I don't see why they have to, like, update it. It looks perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be modernized or anything. But I saw the mock-ups for the modernization. Horrible. Horrendous. Why would you even consider it? It literally looks like a knockoff Juventus.
Why wouldn't you update it? It looks fine. Is it this one? Sorry, my light is bright.
Yes. Yeah, they're looking to update that.
How would you make it better? I like the
The answer is they're not. Let me see if I still have the image for the mock-up.
that just gives it just kind of has the classy taste. Like I don't know, an old money kind of style. Like why would you I hate when people make things more modern. I'm like some of us kind of like the classic look, and then that means like everyone who has like jerseys and hats and stuff, like at that point you could call it vintage because it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not vintage, but like
It's not good. It's not good. Let me just put it that way.
let's leave things the way they are. Why do we have to change them? Is it
Yeah.
bad that I'm like, why change something that's okay?
Exactly.
Unless like people are giving them like flashback for it, like some lashback. I'm like, really? I hate when people are like, let's modernize this, let's modernize. No, keep it like it was. Unless it's like absolutely awful looking, then I'm like, yeah, maybe it does need to change, but that doesn't look bad.
Bruh, I can't find it,
Who's
but
beating on it?
pretty much what it looked like was like, so their logo's still the circle, but it's like lettering within and it's like expanded. It didn't look good.
What was something they modernize? I can't say the word to save my life.
Modernized?
Yeah, my stutter makes me struggle in the middle of it. Um, it was something like so classy, and I was like, why'd you change it? But I don't know. It was something pretty, and they changed it, and I was like, really? Why need? Like, why do that? Anyways, moving on before I make this video longer than it needs to be. Christian Pulisic is the only player in the USMNT history to have multiple seasons with 20 plus goal contributions in the top 5 European leagues. Did it in back-to-back seasons with AC Milan.
He just hit that this weekend, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I mean, he's consistently performing, and I hope that he can keep this form going into next season. AC Milan may or may not make European competitions. I'm low-key hoping that they don't, because that means less games he has to play, which means he'll be in better form for the Club World Cup. Not Club World Cup. Oh my gosh. World Cup. But yes, fingers crossed that they don't make it, because I want him to be fresh and no lingering injuries from playing too many games.
Thomas Müller made his 750th appearance for Bayern Munich. He becomes the first ever player in German football to reach this milestone since the Bundesliga was founded. Congratulations!
And we'll get to Thomas further on in the episode when we are talking about the Bundesliga. It was a very important week for him this week. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Do you have a question? Who was the guy you were talking about from Bayern Munich who shares, like, I share his birthday?
Oh, Jupp Heynckes.
Yo, fun fact, I share his birthday. I
Yeah,
was like, cool.
the legendary coach. He came out of retirement and mid-season and coached us to the sextuple, which is winning every trophy that we possibly could win.
Yeah, so we're birthday twins. Anyways, fun fact there. Moving on. Anyways, soccer.
In Serie A, where, we were just talking about Christian Pulisic, AC Milan win over Bologna 3-1. We had a Christian Pulisic goal in the 79th minute, an assist to Santi Jimenez. I saw all the memes for that, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, CONCACAF is restored, there is peace, and I'm like, no there's not, because these guys are teammates at the club level, but not international, like, rivalry international, so it'll just be interesting to see the next time we face Mexico, what will happen. And then 10-men Juventus tie Lazio 1-1. Nothing notable from Weston McKennie or Tim Weah in this game. Neither of them were the red cards, so bless up. Premier League, City tie Southampton 0-0. Man United lose to West Ham 2-0. Again, they're sitting, they're on the cusp of relegation, but they're so lucky to not get relegated because the other three teams just don't have enough points to even make a comeback. Forest tie Leicester 2-2. After the game, the Forest owner was onto the field confronting the coach and yelling at him, because had they won, they would have gotten European competition. Whereas right now they are currently out of European competition. So, unfortunate for them, but that's terrible behavior from an owner of a team going down and doing that. Like, I would have done that if I had owned the club. I would have been like, look, you really should have won that. But I would have done it privately.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did it right after a game, it's uncalled for.
It's not professional.
No.
It really shows your true colors when you do something like that. And I think you lose a good amount of respect doing that as well.
Yeah.
Unless you're a fan who's just also disrespectful for no reason. You're like, yeah, go ahead, do that.
But it also gives the manager the upper hand to negotiate kind of more, because you're like, you did this in public, you gave the club bad publicity, and now I'm doing stuff to give the club good publicity, and it's a whole thing.
Think before doing it.
Yeah. But then 10-men Chelsea lose to Newcastle 2-0. Chelsea got a red in the 36th minute. And then 10-men Arsenal tie 2-2 to Liverpool. Bilal Moreno, I think, had a red card in the 79th minute. So did this have a big impact on the game? I guess you could argue that it did, for them not to push for late goal, but the fact that it was 2-2 when he got a red. Like, wait, let me just double check that because I don't want to be saying the wrong thing. Yeah, he scored a goal in the 70th minute and then got a red card 9 minutes later. And that was when it was 2-2 and they couldn't push for a late goal because of that red. So, great. But Liverpool, again, we already covered this. They won the Premier League. They have 83 points. Really the battle right now is for second, third, and beyond. So Arsenal sit in second with 69, Newcastle in third with 66. They jump City, who has 65, Chelsea has 63, and Aston Villa has the last European competition spot with 63 points as well. Goal differential plays a role in that, and then outside the last spot of European competition, so in 7th place is Forest. They have 61 points, I believe, so they could bump up if Villa lose and they win. But we'll see what happens. But then in La Liga, Atleti beat Real Sociedad 4-0. Atleti's guy Sorloth. I don't know how to say his last name. I didn't even type it correctly because I didn't know how to make the special character. But he scored a hat trick in 4 minutes, and then he added a 4th goal at the 30-minute mark. So, yeah, Atleti cruising. But I will let Julie do El Clasico for my game of the week, so you don't have to hear me talking about it. You'll hear it from Julie's perspective.
Okay, so I watched the highlights because, again, I didn't know when it was playing.
No. You were busy when it was playing. Trust
Awesome.
me.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you for backing me up there. So, Barca beats Real Madrid 4-3. It was honestly a pretty good game, but you know how I feel about refs. And it was very clear that the refs were on Real Madrid's side. Just saying. But the ball won. Barca won. And all I have to say is, honestly, my favorite soccer player out of both teams was Jamal. He was really good. He was doing really good. Mbappe got some goals, and I gotta give it to him, but Barca came to play, and you know, if you think about it, Barcelona is the first team in El Clasico history to go 4-0 in the rivalry in a single season up against Real Madrid. So, I mean, it wasn't a surprise that they won. But I mean, against Real Madrid. But that's all I'm saying because, like, you know,
it was surprising that they did start by giving up 2 goals.
No, I was. That's where I was going. I was gonna say they didn't have a start, but they always come back and kind of grasp that win. But that's pretty much all I kind of got from it because I watched it on 2+3. Sorry.
There were a couple goals that were disallowed, you know, because of offsides, and like you said,
you know, there
refs.
was what I think was a handball, and
yes, they did bring it back because of a handball, that last one.
I was reading a lot of the comments because, again, I'm still learning, and some people were saying that someone was given the handball and someone deserved a handball, but it was taken away. And I was like, yeah, I kind of noticed that in the game, but again, I'm still learning, so I wasn't sure what fully went on. But just leave it in the comments what you thought about that and what your opinions were on that situation, because honestly I can kind of agree that one handball was probably deserved and the other one was definitely given. Again, refs were biased this game.
Well, I can explain a little bit to you if you want.
Thanks.
So from what I gathered, because I didn't watch, is so handballs are tricky to judge sometimes because you're basing it on the position of the arm. So the one that got called that probably you could have let go, like the arm was down here. It's not like it was all the way out here, not like it was up here. It was kind of at a natural position at the body. But then the other one, it was up here, and they were like, no, that's not a handball. But it's like, this is not a natural position to have your arm at.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I saw on, I think, the two instances that you're talking about. The one that was down here, that was iffy. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But the one that was higher up, it was definitely a handball that was not given. So, you know. But we already know about Real Madrid and the refs and their biases. So,
It's giving the Chiefs is Real Madrid. The Chiefs are Real Madrid.
you heard it here first.
I know a couple of you could be Chiefs fans. I don't care. You guys know how I feel about the Chiefs.
But Barcelona are in first with 82 points, Real Madrid in second with 75, Atleti in third with 70. So Barcelona are 2 points away from winning the La Liga title ahead of Real Madrid. So I'm just gonna assume that they're gonna lock it up next week. Title celebrations for Barcelona. I personally don't see a way that Real Madrid come back and win, but it is what it is. But to the Bundesliga, where we can finally celebrate because Bayern beat Mönchengladbach 2-0. We have goals from Harry Kane and Michael Olise, respectively, in the 31st and 90th minutes. We had 9 shots on target, 24 shots total, 63% of possession, and 4 corners. I didn't update the... Maybe I did update the points between us and Leverkusen. Maybe I didn't. I don't really know. I don't really care. Because I just want to do a little recap about the game. I thought it was a great game. I did find myself getting teary-eyed at points, and I will get to that in a hot second. But it was a very nice game. Sometimes I felt like we pushed a little too much to try and get a goal, but it is what it is. Thankfully, we got 2. And I can't really complain. The first goal, oh my gosh, I thought that was directly from Michael Olise, but it turns out Harry Kane got a header somehow. So shout out to Harry Kane for that goal. Then Michael Olise's other goal was nice. So Michael assisted Harry's goal, which was nice. But Leverkusen lost to Dortmund 4-2. Leverkusen with the L. So Xabi Alonso is confirmed that he is leaving their club, rumored to be heading to the one and only Real Madrid. He did play for Real Madrid, so he does have ties there, like Bayern Munich. But more than likely he's going to Real Madrid because Carlo Ancelotti is going to more than likely sign with Brazil and coach them for the World Cup next summer. Florian Wirtz is also rumored to be leaving this summer on a contract with Bayern Munich. I'm really hoping this happens because I would love to see the front four of Wirtz, Kane, Musiala, and Olise, and it's just going to be crazy what those 4 can do. Now, it's not confirmed yet as of Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that he has not signed anything. But rumors, you never know. He's either going to sign this summer and he'll potentially play for us in the Club World Cup, or he's going to wait till next summer and come on a free transfer next summer, which would save us a lot of money. But I don't think that will happen. I think he's coming this summer. And I would be so thankful if he comes this summer. But we'll
see.
We'll find out in the coming weeks, I guess. But Frankfurt is in third with 57. Freiburg is in fourth with 55. Dortmund in fifth with 54 points. And Mainz rounds out the last European competition spots with 51 points. They jumped RB Leipzig, and RB Leipzig are mathematically eliminated from any European competition spots, I believe, or definitely the UCL, the Champions League, for those of you who don't know what UCL is. So, yeah. But Bayern were able to hold their title celebrations after the game this week, and they celebrated Thomas Müller's last home game. This was kind of why I was teary-eyed, because he's one of the reasons why I started watching Bayern. He's a really big embodiment for Mia San Mia and really Munich, and representing not only the club but also the town, because he was born there. So it's really just sad to see him go, and then he got 750 appearances for Bayern, and yeah, I caught myself multiple times being like, okay, we're not gonna cry. Think happy thoughts. But then they gave him a guard of honor for when he got subbed off, and he was like shaking everybody's hands and stuff, and the crowd was going nuts. But then after the game, he actually climbed up into the crowd and was chanting with the crowd, so we'll definitely miss him next year. Like, I mean, he's just a very, very good embodiment of what it means to be a Bayern player. It'll be interesting to see who takes on that mantle next season. And, he talked about Jamal in his speech, and he was like, yeah, so Jamu over here. And we were like, Jamu? Who's Jamu? And then it just pans to Jamal, and Jamal's just laughing. Yeah. And then the beer showers, their yearly celebration. And it was so funny because Elise was trying to, take his aura pics that he always takes, and Thomas came up behind him, and Leroy Sané and Jamal had their beer mugs, and they were like, where is he? Where is he? We're gonna go find him. And Thomas comes up behind him, and he traps him, and then he just come and they dunk him with it. Yeah. It was
good to see that.
And then, of course, Harry Kane lifting the trophy for the first time, and then getting a beer shower as well. That was very happy to see those title celebrations.
It was a good celebration. Honestly, if I could go to a celebration, it would have been that one. It looks so good. But anyways, moving on to F1 again. Well, it's not really F1; it's mostly racing. But we will be doing an F1 video this week, so keep a lookout. It's going to be a preview of this upcoming week, and our predictions and all that good stuff. So please keep a lookout for it. That's where we kind of mention, post notifications, subscribe, don't miss it. And then we have IndyCar. Soncio. This is my radar points for the week. So the winner was another Alex Palou win. And then we have an Arrow McLaren in second. It's Pato O'Ward. Oh wait, that's his name wrong. I'm so sorry. I doubt you're not saying this, but you are.
Otto.
I always say your name wrong. He finished in second, and then Will Power in third. And then we had a first caution in almost 5 races from David Makulas.
Oh, sorry, I switched on my dyslexia there. Malukas.
That's okay. It happens.
Sorry, I switched the K and the L. Whoop. Sorry, David Malukas. You can see this clip on Twitter, I guess.
Oops. And then we have NASCAR. It was the Kansas race. The top 5 were Bowman, Briscoe, Blaney, Bell, and the winner was Kyle Larson.
Yeah, go Kyle. Go Kyle. Yeah, no, that's a good good stat for Kyle coming up because he's gonna be doing the IndyCar 500 and then he's gonna do the NASCAR
There's to him.
Indianapolis 500.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's 600. I don't know. He's going for 2 wins in 2 different divisions,
which is crazy.
Like we've been saying.
We'll see how that goes. Keep a lookout for our videos because we'll probably talk about it. And then here's our radar points. You guys already know what our last radar points are, so we're gonna pass that and move on to what our radar points are for this week. If you guys haven't guessed and you do not know me, that's crazy, but it's gonna be the Imola Grand Prix. Very excited. I'm excited to see how Charles does this weekend. Because it was his first win last year, and won't it be his anniversary since his first win? Because he hasn't really won anything since then.
What about Kimmy's first home race?
Yeah, true too. Little old Kimmy. Anyways, you guys will see our video about that. Now to M's.
Surprisingly, mine is an NBA playoff game. Celtics versus Knicks, Game 4. The Knicks currently lead the series 2-1. This will probably get posted after the game starts. Might be. But there should be another game because they can't officially lock the series until one team gets to 4. So either way, it's my game of the week. Maybe even games of the week. But, we just haven't covered this yet. But, there was a pope elected this week.
I was just thinking, why didn't we have that in Stupid?
And save the best for last. And, you know what the Knicks are nicknamed? The Villanova Knicks. And you know where the Pope went to college? Villanova. And that's why I'm taking Knicks in 5, baby. Knicks in 5.
USA, baby. USA? The Pope is from USA? And he's a Charles Leclerc fan, apparently, so...
I know. I've seen so many different photoshops of which driver he's a fan of.
If he is, either way, congrats. Welcome to the Pope life. So yeah, I honestly also a little tidbit here. Why everything I was saying about the Pope? Why was he giving the NFL draft?
Did you see the guy with the Steelers terrible towel in the crowd?
No, I was the way they were posting about it on TV, like they're tidbits and like where they grew up and like all that. I'm like, it's giving the draft. Giving the draft.
Imagine show.
No, I even turned to my dad. I'm like, because everyone's talking about it. I'm like, first of all, congrats at it, like for like congrats and everything, but also it's just like, it's giving the draft, and I'm like, honestly, also they had a DJ, so I don't know, I was just like very like thrown off by it, but I'm like, congrats. Yeah, that's my little tidbit on that. It just made me laugh. So that's our video. I hope you guys liked it. Again, don't forget to subscribe. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're doing great so far. Thank you to all the people that have subscribed. Yes.
We are 35% of the way there, guys. 35%. We can definitely get it up to 50 here. I have something in mind for 50 if we hit 50% to 500. I was gonna surprise you, but you're not really subscribing. I'm giving you motivation here. I have something I'm gonna do when we get 50% of the way, and you guys aren't gonna see it coming. So get us to 500. First off, get us to 500. Second off, we get to 250 and we're gonna do something even cooler. Subscribe. It doesn't hurt you. It's just a click of a button. Just subscribe.
Please. We'll appreciate it. And then turn on our post notifications so you don't miss any of our videos like F1, Champions League, etc. Even just our podcast video, because we do cover a lot in our podcast video. like this video, just cause, like it for anything we talk about, like it for future things. And then let us know in the comments, like I said earlier, your thoughts about the Barca game, El Clasico, anything about what you think this next coming week is gonna bring, anything about the Pope, maybe. And then check out our links in the description below for our other social media pages down below. Again, we have TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all of the above. If we don't have something, just let us know. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video.